Brazil's decision to field the Gripen E marks far more than a simple procurement of a fighter aircraft. It represents a defining step toward technological sovereignty, industrial maturity, and a long-term vision for independent strategic air power. For decades, Brazil relied on imported fighters shaped by the doctrines and geopolitics of others. Gripen E changes this dynamic fundamentally. It is not merely a purchase, but a partnership, a co-development opportunity that places Brazilian engineers, technicians, aviators, and strategists at the center of its evolution. When one observes the trajectory of Brazil's Air Force from the Mirage 3 to the F-5M and AMX, the Gripen E stands as the first fighter that is simultaneously Brazilian in operation and increasingly Brazilian in creation. It is a platform that Brazil does not simply fly. It is a platform Brazil will shape. Gripen E works because it aligns with Brazil's defense philosophy. The country possesses an immense territory, ranging from the dense Amazon basin to maritime oil platforms and exclusive economic zones stretching into the Atlantic. Brazil does not need a platform that excels in high-intensity NATO-style warfare in Eastern Europe. It needs a fighter capable of economic endurance, strategic reach, and operations far from centralized logistics. Gripen E brings exactly that. Its design philosophy revolves around sustained readiness, rather than maximal flashy performance. It is engineered to fly often, remain available, and remain affordable to operate over decades. An aircraft that can remain in the air, day after day, is ultimately more valuable than one that shines only in demonstrations. One of the hidden strengths of Gripen E is its cost of operation. While many countries purchase fighters without considering the long-term economic burden, Brazil approached this acquisition with level-headed realism. Gripen E allows Brazil to maintain a large fleet in regular operation without straining defense budgets. Brazil will not be in a position where it has technologically advanced aircraft that are too expensive to fly. Instead, the Gripen E ensures that Brazilian pilots gain experience constantly, that air patrols are frequent, and that readiness is never theoretical. In this way, Gripen E provides not just deterrence, but confidence. When a nation can place fighters in the sky at will, it projects continuous presence. In South America, that matters. Gripen E also offers Brazil a tangible role in the future of fighter technology. Through the transfer of technology framework, Brazil receives not just machines, but knowledge. Brazilian engineers are learning the internal architectures of modern fighter avionics, radar systems, electronic warfare, data link infrastructure, and weapons integration. The fighter is assembled in Brazil by Brazilian hands with Brazilian oversight. This is a milestone that cannot be overstated. Where other nations purchase finished aircraft, Brazil is gaining the intellectual infrastructure to build and maintain advanced aviation systems domestically. This reduces dependence on foreign political constraints, export limitations, and geopolitical leverage that historically dominated global military aviation. From the perspective of capability, Gripen E is far more than a light fighter. Its AESA radar, Raven ES-05, combined with advanced data fusion architecture, allows it to detect and engage targets with remarkable situational awareness. Its ability to employ the Meteor beyond visual range missile gives Brazil a genuinely modern air superiority envelope extending far beyond previous generations of capability. Meteor transforms engagements. It allows Brazil to outrange and outposition any potential adversary fighter currently fielded in South America. Meanwhile, in visual range, the Gripen E can use weapons like Iris-T, or the Brazilian-South African cooperation product A-Darter, further cementing domestic technological integration. Gripen E is not a follower. It is a command-centric fighter built for digital warfare. Equally critical is its ability to operate within a network. Brazil already fields the R-99 AEW and C aircraft, which will act as the airborne intelligence and detection backbone. With Gripen E as the spear point, A-29 Super Tucano as the counterinsurgency and surveillance platform, and KC-390 as the logistical lifter, the Brazilian Air Force is forming a layered and highly adaptive structure. Gripen E becomes the sword of this system, guided by the eyes of the R-99. This creates a national air command network in which the Gripen E does not fight alone, but as part of a digital organism. Some may argue that Brazil should aspire to heavier or stealth fighters seen elsewhere in the world, but this perspective misses the strategic context. Nations such as the United States or China engage in defense aviation as expressions of superpower projection. Brazil's defense focus is sovereignty, deterrence, and stability. Gripen E supports these aims with logical precision. It is lean, responsive, numerous, and expandable. Where stealth fighters often require costly infrastructure and specialized maintenance, Gripen E thrives in dispersed basing and rapid turnaround situations. It can be refueled and rearmed in minutes, even in improvised conditions. This is the very essence of tactical flexibility. Looking forward, Gripen E will not stagnate. Its software-centric architecture allows Brazil to integrate new weapons, new systems, and new sensors over time. This means that in the decades ahead, Gripen E can evolve organically with Brazilian needs. In 30 years, the Gripen E flying over Brazilian skies may possess capabilities not yet invented. Brazil is not locked into a static, foreign-controlled upgrade path. It will increasingly shape its own. The international implications of this program are significant. Brazil may become the central manufacturing and training hub for Gripen E in Latin America. If in the future Argentina, Colombia, or Mexico acquire Gripen, they may do so through Brazilian channels, Brazilian facilities, and Brazilian expertise. For the first time in its modern history, Brazil could stand not only as a recipient of aviation technology, but as a provider. The psychological effect on national confidence is immense. Brazil is transforming from a defense buyer to a defense stakeholder. Gripen E is more than a machine, it is a manifestation of national strategy. It represents trust in domestic talent. It demonstrates that Brazil will not be content to sit at the edge of global defense innovation, but intends to stand within it. This fighter is a bridge toward a future in which Brazil's aerospace sector, led by Embraer and supported by an expanding network of domestic firms, can enter the ranks of the world's technology leaders. If one imagines the year 2050, it is realistic to believe that Brazil's air defense will not merely be composed of imported technology. It will consist of platforms that Brazil helped engineer, produce, and refine. Gripen E is the seed of that future. The pride Brazilians feel toward their aircraft will not come from foreign marketing brochures, but from the knowledge that Brazil's own hands, minds, and institutions helped build them. In this sense, Gripen E is not simply the fighter that Brazil flies today. It is the fighter that will define Brazilian air power for the next generation. It is the place where modern capability meets national identity and where industrial ambition becomes strategic reality.